the average foreigner in Japan speak Japanese? Does the average white foreigner in Japan speak Japanese? There's a big difference between white foreigners in Japan, or just like expats, I guess we'll call them, people who probably aren't going to live here forever, people who just come kind of out of, novelty or traveling, spending a couple years here. And then the people who come here to seek a better life, mostly from Southeast Asia, sometimes Africa, etc. And most of those people need to integrate more into the culture. There are a lot of people like that working in restaurants where they need to speak Japanese. They need to understand the Japanese restaurant manager. And then like the white foreigners come out here and they're trying to be YouTubers, like fucking idiots, vloggers, influencers, like fucking really like scum of the earth people. And then, entrepreneurs, etc. So they don't have so much of an incentive to learn Japanese as much as like the foreigners from Southeast Asia do when they come to Japan. So, dude, I keep getting WhatsApp text messages from unknown numbers. I don't know, man. It's pissing me off. I'm going to throw a fit. But I got to say, when I came to Japan 4 years ago, guys. It's quite a while, even though it feels like yesterday. But whenever I would interact with foreigners here, at the time, I didn't speak very good Japanese at all, of course. Like, I just got here. I went to language school and stuff, but I did not speak. Like, I wasn't at the level where I could hear a different foreigner speak Japanese, like a quick little conversation type thing, and really get an idea of how good their Japanese was, which, of course, I can do now because I'm brilliant and I'm a genius. But yeah, when I first got here, I would hear like a foreigner just have a little short conversation with a Japanese person at the gym. They would just be like, Ohayo gozaimasu. Oh, genki desu ka? Genki desu. Oh, kaiobi shigoto desu. Like they say like the dumbest thing that whatever, like didn't even have to make sense half the time. And I would be like, wow, man, like that's so awesome. I would just sit there in amazement and wonder, thinking, how long is it going to take me to get that fluent in Japanese? Oh my gosh. And I asked so many questions because I was so interested in seeing how long it took to get there, how confident that person is in speaking their Japanese. At the time, like, it seemed so far away that I thought I would just never be able to get to that level. And I remember asking, like, is it really necessary to even learn Japanese to that extent? And pretty much the answer that I got from like almost every single foreigner in Japan, when I asked them, how did they get so fluent in Japanese? Or are you fluent? Like, are you fluent? It sounds like you're fluent. Pretty much every single one of them said like, yeah, I'm fluent. I'm fluent, dude. Yeah. I'm fluent. I study, whatever, 5 years, whatever. I'm fluent. And I don't use my Japanese all the time, but yeah, I would say I'm like totally integrated into the culture here, and my Japanese is really great. And I just remember thinking, like, I didn't know any better, and I would be like, wow, so much respect, so much admiration for these people. And now I'm 4 years in, and I actually speak decent Japanese. I still don't know if I would consider myself fluent necessarily, and I'm realizing, like, not people like the people that I talked to, literally the people that I talked to when I got here, when I was asking, like, how did you become fluent in Japanese? Would you consider yourself fluent? And they all said, yeah. And, whatever, they did this and that. I'm realizing these people aren't fluent at all. Those people don't even speak nearly, not even like 50% as good, as well as I do now. But I was asking them for advice, or I was asking them, how did they get so fluent in Japanese? Because I just didn't know any better. And nobody was like, no, I'm not that fluent. It's just whatever. Like, you're just a complete beginner. They were all just like, oh yeah, well, I am fluent. And then they would go on talking about how great they are. And now I'm realizing, like, none of those people were actually fluent. None of those people are really that good at Japanese. And it's seriously incredibly rare to meet a foreigner in Japan. Honestly, not even just like the expats, like the immigrants as well, who are like really fluent in Japanese, like really definition of pera pera level. I don't know what percentage it is. like 1% or less, like 1% or less of the foreigners living here are like totally fluent. I don't know, you know, maybe my circle is skewed. Maybe it just depends on who you know. But also not really, though, because I have a bunch of like influencer friends and stuff who are all about studying Japanese and learning Japanese all the time. And so I'm obviously factoring those people in. And obviously they have incredible Japanese, but that, like those people, Matt vs. Japan, Oshaberi Joji, Nick Nissan, etc., those people are way outliers compared to the average foreigner in Japan, especially if you want to talk about like expats, white foreigners living in Japan. Does anyone want to take a guess? I would say like 50% of them, I would say like 50% really don't speak Japanese like at all. Like, I mean, obviously everybody speaks, you know, a couple sentences or whatever, like maybe very basic daily conversation. But in terms of like, oh yeah, you can speak Japanese, I don't know, man, less than 50%. And in terms of fluent, like I would say fluent, I'm like right on the edge of fluent, I would call myself. Like, wouldn't necessarily call myself fluent, but I'm really close. And people who are on like my level, 10% or less. So I just think that's funny, because when I first got here, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is just the norm. Like everybody comes here and they just completely assimilate and they learn the language so well and they become fluent in the language. Wow. Like so much respect for all the, you know, not that I just don't have any respect for these people, but I remember having this incredible respect for all of the foreigners who live here, because I just assumed, like, I assumed that's what you do. You move here and you integrate into the culture and you become fluent in the language, and that's that. I didn't realize how much of a bubble these people were living in, and also how much these people want to suck their own and not just tell me, yeah, dude, I'm not fluent in Japanese, like, at all. I'm not even close. It just sounds like I'm good because you don't know anything. It's like when your family visits, you're living in Japan or whatever foreign country you live in, and you are learning the language, and your family visits and they hear you say arigato gozaimasu, and your family's like, oh my gosh, you're so fluent, what the hell? Like, that's what I was like probably when I first got to Japan. And I was asking people, like, how did you become so fluent in the language? And nobody would be like, dude, I'm really not that great. Everyone was like, oh well, I'm glad you asked. And now I'm listening to them, like I'll see the same exact people and I'll listen to them talking in Japanese, and it's painful to my ears to hear them attempting Japanese conversation. And I really don't think I'm just being an asshole. Like, I don't think that I just have incredibly high standards. I think they really just have like basic daily conversation about it, and that's it. But they tell people that they're fluent. So don't believe the psyop. I don't know. I don't know if there's any points to this video outside of just like, don't get really, really down on yourself if you look around and you think that people are really fluent and you just got here and you're a beginner, because most people aren't. They're just acting like they are, or they'll just tell you that they are. And it does take a lot of time and a lot of work. And from somebody who actually has decent Japanese, me, it takes a lot of time and a lot of work, but it's totally worth it. And outside of it just being worth it, it's about respect, and it's about your duty to the country that's allowing you to live here. So, you know, forget if it's hard or whatever. It doesn't really matter. You have to learn Japanese if you're living in Japan. So, yeah, if you're new to a country, especially Japan, and all the foreigners are acting like they're fluent and they're saying that they're fluent, dude, it's just not true at all. And the reason is because it's a really hard language, and it takes a lot of time to learn this language. But it's worth it, and it's your duty. So as long as you don't see it as one of those things where you're having to put in time, hours every single day, and you're just not getting there after 6 months, and you instead see it as something where you got to put in time, hours every single day, but it's just part of your life, and that's just what you do. That's just part of your life. Every single time I get on the train, I get on transportation, I pull out my Anki cards, and I study. Every single time after I finish my 100 Anki cards, I pull out Japanese YouTube and I listen to Japanese YouTube. And that's just what I've been doing for 4 years here. In addition to everything else, but just an example there. Just make it part of your routine. Don't see it as some type of chore that you have to get through really quick and you have to become fluent in 6 months, because it's just not realistic at all. I'm more than 4 years into this, because I studied a little bit in America before I came here, and I still wouldn't call myself fluent. So just like, don't get down on yourself. Try to make it just part of your life and just be like, yeah, it is what it is, you know? I'll get there one day. So thanks for watching, guys. That's a huge crow. yungjamesYT@gmail.com. Hit me up. Peace out. Yeah.